everyone, it's Scott here. My vehicle's due for its annual oil change right now, so it's just an A service. What I've decided to do is I'm going to do the oil change the conventional way, so that is removing the sump plug, letting the oil drain out, change the filter, put the sump plug back in and fill it back up with oil again. It involves removing the engine bash plate and the big plastic cover underneath. Generally, well, nearly all dealers now, all service centres just use a vacuum pump to do it, which is fine. That's how I did it last time, and I've made a video of how to do it using a vacuum pump. But I do really think it's worthwhile, maybe every second oil change, to do it conventionally and take those covers off and actually have a look underneath and make sure you haven't got any oil leaks, because strangely enough, you know, these things do actually leak oil sometimes. The sump's in two parts, so there's an alloy. The main bulk of the sump is alloy, and then it has a steel plate bolted to the bottom of it, a steel oil pan plate bolted to the bottom of it, and they often leak at that join where the steel pan's bolted onto the aluminium. And in fact, mine was leaking, which I only discovered when I did the automatic transmission service. So I think there's a benefit in doing it in the conventional way, you know, at least every couple of years, so you can get under there, have a look and just check for oil leaks. So I hope you enjoyed the video. It's a very straightforward project. The step here is I've put the vehicle up on ramps at the front. This is just a temporary arrangement so I can remove the engine bash plate. There's the engine bash plate. There's 6 13mm bolts to remove. So there's 4 along the front. Can't see the last one. And then there's another 2 at the rear. There's one here and one over there in that recess. So you undo those 6 bolts, and then this whole plate will drop down. It's quite heavy. The other thing I'd recommend is if you cordless drill, if you get one of these, it makes life a lot easier and quicker. So you can buy 1/2-inch square drive pieces for your cordless drill. So I've got a 3/8 in here at the moment, and I'm going to stick a 3/8 socket on the end of it. But it just makes things really quick.
You're probably wondering, why on earth would anybody in their right mind want to be doing what I'm doing, and that is crawling around underneath the car, getting in and out, dragging myself around. Well, the reason I do it is that it's very good for you. It's very good for functional fitness. You know, the moving around and standing up and down and that sort of thing. Very, very good for your core strength. We're not meant to be sitting around in chairs all the time. And you know, people probably think this is crazy. You know, I'd prefer to be sitting down having a beer while I get someone else to do this work. But believe me, as you get older, doing this sort of stuff is very important, and it's very, very good for you.
Either remove the entire under tray or at least drop it down enough to get to the engine sump, because the engine sump is under there, and the screws with the little bolts holding this on are 8mm. Using the cordless drill again because it's quick. It's very easy to get off. So there you go. Wasn't difficult at all. I'll just push that to the back of the car, collect all my bolts here and stick them in a container. Always a good idea to have a container. And just check, once you've got it off, just check the sump here for leaks, because it's common for these things to leak. I don't seal them very well. I've already had to torque this up once because it was leaking, but it actually seems like I've fixed it because there's no oil there. And just while I'm here, the transmission oil pan is fine as well, so there's no leaks there, so that's going fine. So I think it's worth taking that under tray off every now and then just to have a check under here, because these cars do leak oil, which is unbelievable. And you pay so much money for them. Okay, so there's the sump plug. So what I'm going to do now is take the vehicle for a drive and bring it up to temperature, and then I'll bring it back into the garage, but not on the ramp, so the vehicle's level, and I'm going to take that out and drain all the oil. Good opportunity to take the dog for a drive because he loves going in the car. Okay, I've taken the car for a drive and brought it up to temperature, and what I've done is I've just lifted the left-hand side of the car a little bit on the suspension with the jack, because there's very little clearance under here, so the pan is sloping, slightly one way towards the sump plug, so it's not really going to affect the amount of oil drain. It's a 13mm sump plug, and this sump plug is a total virgin. It's still got the original paint from the factory on it, so it's never been taken off. So it just shows, with the $450 to $500 you pay for an A service, all the dealers do is they stick a tube down the filler tube using a vacuum pump. They suck the oil out, they fill it back up again, they change the filter, and then they do a few other things like check the lights work and the doors open and the headlights work and things like that, and you get charged around about $450 to $500 for that privilege. If people want to pay that sort of money, that's up to them, but to me that's just, you might as well burn the money. It is so simple to do an oil and filter change yourself. So anyway, let's undo this. Yeah, see, it's very tight. It's never been off. Oh. Okay. Right, that's draining out. So while that's draining, we'll change the oil filter. Yeah, so first thing to do is take the big plastic cover off the top of the engine. Just clips into place, so just grab it and pull it off. Okay, here's the oil filter cap here. So these vehicles have a plastic cap that you undo, and underneath that is a paper filter element. So you need a special tool to take that off. In this case, with this Mercedes engine, you need the 84mm diameter with 14 flats special tool. For some of the other engines, it's a 74mm diameter with 14 flats on it. 1/2 inch drive goes in the end. Just undo it. And there you go, there's the paper element which just clips into place. So you just push it on, just clips into place. So there it is there. I'll just put that after you take the filter out, there is usually about 1/2 cup of oil sitting inside the filter reservoir. I just use the famous sports drink bottle special tool. So I stick the end of the hose in the reservoir there, put my lips on the little hole there, create a bit of suction, create a bit of vacuum to get a siphon going, and then siphon it out. So that's how much oil came out. It's quite a bit in there. And then I just give the inside a bit of a wipe, make it nice and clean. Using some lint-free paper toweling. The other thing I've done while the oil's draining, and it takes a while to come out, while it's draining out of the sump, I've just let the jack down again so the vehicle's level, because it's supposed to be level when you do that, when you drain the sump. Here's the new filter. It's a Wix filter, and I buy these out of the UK for about $10 Australian delivered, compared to about $50 if I go down to the local Mercedes dealer. The new filter comes with 2 new O-rings as well for the cap fitting, so I might as well use them. There's the old filter element. So there's a small O-ring on the end there, and then there's the large O-ring here on the cap. So let's take that one off. Take that one off. Now there's a groove, quite a large groove in the cap there. You can see where it's pretty easy to see where it goes. That's the big O-ring, and here's the little O-ring. And then the filter, doesn't matter which way it goes, you just push that straight onto there like that, and it clips into place. You can feel it. So that's it. Marked on the cap that you're to do this up to 25 Newton meters, so I like to do things properly, so I'll get the torque wrench. So there you go. Okay, I'm just waiting for the oil to finish draining, so everything's done now. Just got to wait for it to drain, put the sump plug back in. Don't forget to do that, I've done that before. Forget to put the plug in, and then you pour a heap of oil onto the garage floor. So once that's finished, yes, we'll fill it up with 9 litres of oil. But just as far as doing your own work like this is the way I look at it. You might think I'm crazy, but this is the way I look at it. If you're a professional guy, in most developed countries, we have a top personal income tax rate of close to 50%. Here in Australia it's 46.5. In many countries it's generally around that, somewhere between 45 and 50%. So if you're a professional fellow with one of these cars, for you to spend $500 getting an A service, which is just changing the filter and changing the oil, then I think you've seen how simple it is with a few basic tools. The way I look at it, it's actually costing you twice as much. It's costing you $1,000, because basically you have to earn $2 to get $1. So for you to be back in the same situation, so if you've shelled out $500 to have something very simple done that you could have done yourself, you have to go and earn another $1,000 to get back to where you started from. That's the way I see it. So in my professional career, I was earning reasonable money. I was always in the top tax rate, and that's the way I looked at it. I always used to do this sort of stuff myself, and I still do it now, even though I'm not working anymore. I never saw it as being beneath me to crawl around underneath a car. So I mean, it's each to his own. If people want to get someone else to do it, that's fine. But I just think the benefits of doing these things yourself, just the satisfaction you get out of doing it, and the money you save is tremendous. So anyway, that's my twisted way of looking at these things. So we can put the cover back on the top now, because all we have to do up at this end is open the oil filler cap and fill it up with oil once the draining is complete. Okay, I've just put the sump plug back in. I'm going to put the correct amount of oil in, which is actually 8 litres. I'm using MV specification 229.51. Okay, that's the end of the project. All I have to do now is run the vehicle back up onto the ramps and reinstall the big plastic under tray and the engine bash plate. Okay, I'm going to show you how to reset the service indicator once you've done your oil change. So I'll put the key in and turn it on to position 1, and the service A5 due comes up, so press OK. To get rid of that, you need to have the odometer showing on the screen. Then hold the telephone answer button, so the one on the right hand side. Push that down and the OK button straight after and hold them. And up comes vehicle data, roller test and assist plus. So scroll down to assist plus, hit OK. Scroll down to full service, hit OK. You've got a whole list there, service 1, 3, 4, 8, etc. Just scroll down to confirm full service, press OK. It asks you the question, service carried out, yes or no or yes, so scroll down to yes, press OK. Cannot be undone, so cancel or confirm. I'm going to confirm it because I've done it, and I'll go OK. And now it comes up with a message, full service completed. And now it's back to normal, so that's it. Now when I put the key in and turn it on, the service due message doesn't come up anymore. And if I go to the assist, go to service and then down to assist plus, okay, next service is a B service due in 365 days. So that's correct because that was an A service. Thanks for watching the video.